Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to be going over the developer update that just dropped. So I was really excited for this when I saw that this dropped, and so I figured to make a video about it. I have not looked into this before. I haven't even really scrolled down besides a tiny bit, and let's just say I've seen some interesting things just from the tiny scroll I did. But I wanted to keep my reactions like genuine, so let's go. So we already know this, right? We know the prestige. So let's go. Alongside these changes, we've removed the blood point bonuses from two perks, barbecue and chili, and we're gonna live forever, which just really did hit hard, honestly. And it's kind of sad that they did that because it. I don't know, barbecue and chili. Now I just look at it and I'm like, wow, this perk's bad. But as some of you have rightly pointed out, without these bonuses, you could afford fewer blood point nodes per match, making it harder to earn these items, offerings, and add-ons. So they want to remedy this by decreasing the price of everything. So event and common add-ons are 1,000 blood points less. Uncommon add-ons are 1,500 blood points less. Rare add-ons are 1,750 blood points less. Very rare and ultra rare are 2,000 blood points less, which is really nice. So why not increase the blood points was a question that was asked, and they address this by saying basically that a 33% reduction in blood point cost is effectively the same as increasing blood point earnings by 50% across the board. For example, 30,000 blood points can be exchanged for 15 common nodes when priced at 2,000 blood points each. At 3,000 blood points, you would need 45,000 blood points to get the same number of nodes. This reduction makes all blood points more valuable, not just from those matches. This means that even your daily and archive challenges will have more purchasing power than before. This is a really good point because you don't want to just inflate the blood points for matches, I guess. You want to make all the blood points more valuable. So yeah, camping and tunneling. This looks interesting. So this is okay. Yeah. So we released this feature with safe numbers to ensure. So they've further run the 5 seconds of endurance and haste. What is new now is that they will be increasing the duration of the haste and endurance status effect to 10 seconds, which is crazy. That is crazy. And they're going to be going at 10% the normal speed, which is really crazy. I mean, you'll be going as fast as Huntress, you'll be going as fast as Spirit, as the Hag. Who else? I'm sure there's more. I just can't think of any at this moment. Oh, Deathslinger too. That's crazy. So tunneling is really going to be taken out. Not necessarily camping. You can still camp and trade, but okay. Metal the Man. I think this is something people were interested in. In a recent update, we released a new version of Metal Man, which worked consistently with other endurance effects. Sorry, I kind of had a brain lapse or whatever. Many of you voiced concerns with this version of the perk being weaker than before, favoring a harder to earn effect that couldn't be lost. Our intention with this change was never to make the perk weaker. Therefore, alongside with the chapter release, we'll be reverting the recent update to Metal Man. Metal Man will instead grant a unique protection effect that is not cancelled by conspicuous actions like endurance. To help differentiate them, this perk will no longer cause the endurance status effect to appear in the HUD when activated. So that's cool. I don't know if it's still going to be only like 2 protection hits. We'll see. Okay, post PTB changes. The halls of Raccoon City were packed in this PTB. Whether you were hurling survivors at literal breakneck speeds or being hurled, we want to thank you for taking the time to leave your feedback. We'll be making a few changes in time for release. As always, these changes are by no means final. We'll continue to monitor how everything performs and reassess once the dust is settled. So the Mastermind. We'll start with the Mastermind himself, Albert Wesker. One thing we noticed during this PTP was that the collision detection on the Mastermind's rush was a little too sensitive, which is very true. I tried him out, played a game, and yeah, it really was sensitive. So this would cause the killer to bump into objects it shouldn't have. So they toned down the collision, which is nice. We've also polished the way Virtual Bound interacts with pallets and windows. During the PTP, survivors could not take damage if the Mastermind bounded towards them as they were vaulting. This was not intentional. The Mastermind will now hit them. So that's cool. Survivors could wait on the other side of a pallet, vaulting back over it before the Mastermind could attack after vaulting. Going forward, standing too close to the vault location as the Mastermind bounds over it will result in the survivor being injured. That's cool too. Next, we've revisited his power and loops. We found his base movement speed between bounds to be a little slow, making it difficult to get into position for another bound. That is another really good thing. I think if they change these things they're addressing to his weakness are changed and they actually help, he could be like a solid high B tier, maybe even A tier killer. But let's see. For the release, we've increased the Mastermind's movement speed between bounds to 2.76 meters per second. So that's pretty good. He goes almost I want to say like 40% faster than like a walking survivor. The speed previously achieved by using the loose crank add-on. So yeah, So they reduced the bonus from it. Okay. So yeah, they basically just made his movement speed 0.46 meters a second faster, and then they nerfed the add-on that made his movement speed in the bound faster. Okay, one of the quirks of Virtual Bound is its ability to throw survivors at one another, injuring both survivors in the process. Oftentimes, those unfortunate enough to have their friends flung at them would not even realize that they've been injured. To make this more obvious, being injured from healthy from a survivor thrown by the mastermind will cause deep wounds. Okay, that's cool. Last but not least, we've slightly toned down the survivor collision detection of the mastermind bound. We found this to be a little too generous on the P2P. Yeah, that is very true. It was very hard to dodge it. So perks. Okay, let's check at perk tweaks. We've made a few tweaks to the perks following the P2P. As always, we'll continue to tune each of them. So I'm sure Reassurance is going to be a pretty hard nerf. Let's see. This perk allows you to pause the hook progression of another survivor, buying you and your team more time to work on a generator if the killer is camping. On the P2P, Reassurance had a 40-second cooldown and can be used repeatedly. When coordinated with other survivors, this could have been abused to keep the survivor permanently on the hook, preventing them from being sacrificed against their will. For the release, we have removed the cooldown of Reassurance. Instead, Reassurance can only be used once per hook instance. The effects of this perk will still be chained together if multiple survivors are running Reassurance for a maximum delay of 90 seconds. This perk will keep the effects potent without being abusable. So I think that's a cool. It's still gonna be a good perk in my opinion, just not that good probably. You might see it in competitive if they will allow a perk like that, but I honestly don't think you'll need a perk like that in public games, just because camping isn't that big of a problem, and there's so many perks that get your way around it. So yeah. Let's see. Awakened Awareness. This perk grants the killer aura reading while they are carrying survivor. In the PvP, this effect also lingered for 2 seconds after the carry. Survivors drop, hooked, or wiggle free. This effect could be a little oppressive on certain killers, especially when paired with Lethal Pursuer to extend the aura reading effect and Star Strike to make survivors explode. For this release, we're removing the lingering aura of Awakened Awareness. As a result, Lethal Pursuer will no longer extend the duration of Awakened Awareness's reading or aura reading. Sorry, a little bit of a stutter there. Low profile hides your scratch marks and pools of blood when you become the last survivor for 70, 80, and 90 seconds. Unfortunately, this meant the perk would only activate once per match, and only if you happen to be the last survivor standing. For the release, we have changed this to include anytime you are the only survivor who is not dying, hooked, or dead as well, allowing it to activate throughout the match. Additionally, low profile will also mask the grunt of pain in addition to its existing effects. So it's a bad perk still, but it's going to be better. So maybe. Okay, let's see. Better than new. The perk granted any survivor you healed a 6% action speed bonus to healing, repairing, chest opening, and totem cleansing for 25, 30, 35 seconds. We found the duration of the perk to be a little low to make much use out of the bonus speed. For release, we've made a few changes to the perk. Better than new now grants 12, 14, and 16% action speed bonus to healing. Oh, to not repairing. Okay. So bonus to healing, chest opening, totem, and cleansing, and blessing. So Better Than New no longer has a duration, survivors instead keep this bonus until the next time they take damage. So I do not think it's going to be that good of a perk anymore. Once you take out gen speed from a perk, it isn't really that good. Like, you don't see much leader, right? Because they took away the gen speed part of it. So I don't think it's going to be better. But we'll see. Raccoon City Police Station. Finally, we come to Raccoon City Police Station. In this chapter, the map has been split into two, East Wing and the West Wing. This was a really good change in my opinion because the map before was crazy big, and it's still pretty big in my opinion. Sorry, I closed it out by clicking on it. Did I scroll too far? I think I did scroll too far. Okay. Each map includes a main hall and a small section of the opposite wing, greatly reducing its size compared to the original. We've also opened new pathways between various rooms to make the map easier to navigate, thank God, as well as widening some hallways to make it feel less claustrophobic and allow more interesting gameplay. In the P2P, we found that there were too many pallets scattered around Raccoon City Station now that its size has been reduced. We've reduced the number of pallets on the newly renovated maps for when the chapter releases. Okay, so overall, this is an okay change. Nothing too big. Sure, we get the Resident Evil survivors, which personally, as a big Resident Evil fan, I played Resident Evil all throughout growing up. I like it, but they didn't really go all out, and I don't like that there aren't many changes with it besides the new survivor, killer, and other survivor. But I'm excited they're doing something. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment down below what you liked the most about this change, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.